ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, Bhagavad Gita chapter 13. Nature, the enjoyer and consciousness. Okay. Arjuna said, "Oh my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti." Okay, so we are starting the Gnana part of Gnana Yoga part of Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna has finished all his instructions, but he is giving now knowledge to support or make it much easier to accept whatever has been spoken so far. So this knowledge is mostly about three modes and about this material world. Yeah. So I wish to know about Prakriti, nature, Purusha, enjoyer, and the field of activities, which is body, and then over of the field, which is Atma and Paramatma, and of knowledge and object of knowledge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. Supreme Personality of Godhead starts answering. He said, first he answers the field. This body is called the field, and one who knows the body is called the knower of the field, Kshetra and Kshetragna. And he's saying you should know that, you should understand that I am also the knower in all the bodies. So Atma and Paramatma. To understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. So real knowledge is to know the body and the soul and the super soul. Just knowing things connected to the body is called Agnana, ignorance. Only when it includes knower, which is Atma Paramatma, it becomes knowledge. So he already answered three things. Field, knower the field, knowledge. Now please hear my brief description of this field of activity and how it is constituted, what its changes are, whence it's produced, who that knower of the field of activities is, and what his influences are. So he's going to explain in detail. The knowledge of the field of activities and of the knower of activities is described by various sages in various Vedic writings. It is especially presented in Vedanta Sutra with all reasoning. The five great elements, Panch Mahabhuta, then false ego, intelligence, then the unmanifested, the 10 senses, mind, 5 sense objects, tanmatra, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, aggregate, meaning Mahatattva, life symptoms, and convictions. All these are considered to be the field of activities and its interactions. And the field of activities is only till here. The rest are interactions. So all arises, of course, life symptoms is also part of field of activities. Others, aggregate, also can be considered field of activity. So desire, hatred, happiness, distress, convictions, these are all interactions. Unmanifested is pradhana. The aggregate is mahatattva. So 5 great elements. So in order we can say pradhana, then mahatattva, then 5 great elements, 10 senses, mind, 5 sense objects, then subtle, false ego, intelligence, And then the interactions: desire, hatred, happiness, distress, and convictions. So all these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interactions. Now Krishna is talking about what he considers as knowledge. So this is very important verse. Amanitvam adambhitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham stairyam atmavinigraha indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara eva cha janma mrityujara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam asaktirasa anabhiswanga putradaraghrahadishu nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapatishu मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानम् इति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा. So all these things is described. Amanitvam, adambhitvam, amanitvam, humility, adambhitvam, pridelessness, ahimsa, non-violence, kshantir, tolerance, then simplicity, acharyopasanam, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, shaucham, then shaucham, stairyam, steadiness, atmavinigraha, self-control, then renunciation of objects, asaktir, indriyartheshu vairagyam, renunciation of objects of sense gratification, anahankara, absence of false ego, janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam, perception of evil of birth, death, old age, disease, then detachment, asaktir, anabhiswangaha, then putra dara grahadishu anabhiswangaha, freedom from entanglement, friend, putra dara graha, so children, wife and home and the rest. Then nityam cha samachittatvam, even-mindedness amid pleasant, unpleasant events. Most importantly, mayi chananya yogena bhaktirabhivicharini. So this is important. Constant and unalloyed devotion to me. Aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from general mass of people. Vivikta desha sevitvam, aratir jana samsadi, detachment from the general mass of people. Then adhyatma gnana nityatvam, accepting the importance of self-realization. Tattva gnanartha darshanam, philosophical search of the tattva, absolute truth. Etat gnanam iti proktam, all these I declare to be knowledge. Agnanam yad atonyatha, everything else besides this is ignorance. So very, very interesting this is. First is, as part of knowledge, is this unalloyed devotion. So devotion, doing devotion is also knowledge. Then the behavior. So this knowledge here is not about the knowledge as we understand. So that knowledge is only little here. For example, perception of evil of birth and is that kind of knowledge, like knowledge. Everything else, if you see philosophical search, okay, accepting importance of self-realization, okay, these might be considered as knowledge, or even this is accepting importance. So that's also behavior. Everything else is our behavior. It's not knowledge. So simply having this, any kind of knowledge is not considered knowledge. Knowledge means applied knowledge, and all this is applied knowledge, right? Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance. You know humility, but here Krishna is not saying you know the knowledge of humility. No, he's saying to be humble. So this knowledge here is gnana and vijnana together. And we should understand this is real knowledge. So there is not much hell use if somebody is just a great philosopher, great scholar, but he doesn't have these qualities developed, then he is not in knowledge. That you can say as information. So here in some sense knowledge means applied, that it has to be part of our behavior, right? Like we discussed yesterday, things which are very dear to Krishna, what qualities we have to develop to become very dear to Krishna. So like that, these things we have to develop. Okay. Now he'll explain the knowable object of knowledge, knowing which you will taste the eternal. What is that knowable? Brahman. This the spirit. Brahman means spirit. It is beginningless and subordinate to me. And this is the knowable. He lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. And because Brahman is eternal, you will taste the eternal. So here in this, Krishna is restricting this knowable to be only Brahman. He's not directly talking about himself. And what is this Brahman? Everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads and faces. He has ears everywhere. In this way, super soul exists, pervading everything. So, so he's okay. So one is Brahman. Then he's also talking about Paramatma. So let's see what Prabhupada is saying here in this purport. Soul and the super soul. So soul is Brahman and then the super soul. With knowledge of the knower, both the soul and super soul, one can release the nectar of life. Yeah. Okay, so that is this knowable. Super soul is talking about super soul because he's present in all bodies. That way, everywhere are his hands and legs. The super soul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses, without material senses. He is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all living beings. He transcends the modes of nature, and at the same time, he is the master of all the modes of material nature. So he transcends, meaning he is beyond them, but still he controls them. He is the master. Supreme truth exists outside and inside of all living beings, the moving and non-moving. Because he is subtle, he is beyond the power of the material senses to see or to know. Although far, far away, he is also near to all. Durastam chantike chatat. Supreme truth. So he is present outside and he is present inside also. And he's present, he's also present far, far away. And the Supreme Lord himself. Although the super soul appears to be divided among all beings, he is never divided. He is situated as one. So it's the same super soul. This is present in every body. He is the maintainer of every living entity. He devours and develops all. So he is the maintainer. He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter. He is unmanifested. He is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge. He is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. Hriddhi sarvasya visthitam. Thus the field of activities, knowledge and knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature. So they understand this because they understand this this Brahman, Paramatma and all just expansions of or partial manifestations or of the Supreme Truth. They're not full understanding. They're not full realization, partial realization. And they understand that they are the Atma, and then there is Paramatma, and then this Brahman. So they understand all these topics. Only devotees can understand. Others can't understand. For others, it's all very confusing. Material nature and the living entity should be understood to be beginningless. So Prakriti and Jiva. Their transformation and the modes of matter are products of material nature. So their transformation, meaning the transformation of material nature, and the modes of matter, the transformation and the modes of matter are products of material nature. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas a living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments. Okay, so nature is the cause of all material causes and effects, meaning like it rained, So then some grass grew. So nature is the cause of material causes and effects. And living entity is the cause of sufferings and enjoyment. That living entity which was there as grass. So that it's suffering and enjoyment. The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. Following the way of life, meaning today it wanted to become grass, it became grass, then or whatever, right? Then natural evolution, etc., etc. So, and in every life form, there is the influence of modes of nature in the material world, and it is enjoying. And like Prabhupada says that Indra became hog, and he also enjoyed that life. So why is he enjoying? Because of his association with that material nature. So he likes to be pig, so he became pig. So he's associating. Karanam guna sangosya. So this guna sangha, association with nature, is the reason why everybody is enjoying their life, even however miserable it might be in this material world, except devotees who see this and say, how miserable. Otherwise, everybody is happy. I used to keep saying that somebody who is living in slum in some very really degraded condition, they are still happy. They're laughing, smiling, they're eating, drinking, enjoying, whatever. Nobody's thinking that their life is miserable. Because of the association, because in Tamoguna, they can't understand all this. So, yeah, and thus we meet with good and evil among various species based on their nature. Somebody is good because of their nature, somebody is evil because of their nature. Upadashta Anumanta cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara. Yet in this body there is another transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, Supreme Proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and is known as the Super Soul. So the Jivi is there. Is taking up different life forms. And then there is Paramatma, who is there along with the Jivi. One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, living entity, and the interaction of the modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. So he understands this. And there is Prakriti, then there is Jiva, and then there is Guna. So we are bound by this. So one who understands this, he will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position, because he understands, oh, this is miserable. So then he will work towards getting out of this bondage. Some perceive the super soul within themselves through meditation, others through cultivation of knowledge, and still others through working without fruitive results. Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. So here some are doing through meditation, others through cultivation knowledge, others through working without fruitive desires, karma yoga. And then there are those who they don't have knowledge, but they just have faith. So they just begin to worship the Supreme upon hearing about him from others. Because of that tendency to hear from authorities, Shruti Parayana, they also transcend the path of birth and death. So it's not required that everybody has to be conversant in spiritual knowledge, but as long as they are fortunate and they come to the right authorities and surrender to them, and they hear from their authorities and do whatever they are being told to do. Know that whatever you see in existence, both moving and moving, is only a combination of the field of activities and the knower of the field. That's all. Whatever we are seeing is that there's a body and there's a soul and the super soul. That's all. One who sees the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all bodies and who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul is ever destroyed, actually sees. One who sees the super soul equally present everywhere in every living being does not degrade himself by his mind. So this is very important. Samam Pashyan hi sarvatra. Thus he approaches the transcendental destination, meaning he doesn't see the different bodies. He doesn't deal with other jivas on the bodily platform. He treats them according to the body, but he doesn't deal with them on the bodily platform. Meaning, if there is a lion, then yes, okay, we're not going to be going near the lion. but he only sees the super soul, or easier to explain in amongst human beings, right? So we can see that, okay, somebody is doing the work of, say, a car driver, for example, right? We see that, okay, he is the super soul. Now he has the super soul in his body. There is this jiva who wanted to become, who is in this condition of life for whatever reason. But there is Atma and Paramatma. So we see equally, we respect the jiva, but we treat him according to his position. We don't, as in, we might, we'll give him a salary, etc., etc., but we don't deal with him on the bodily platform. Meaning we treat him as, we respect him because he's Atma, he's taken a specific type of body, etc. So we don't degrade ourselves. When we don't see the super soul and soul in every jiva, then we will degrade ourselves, meaning we'll deal with them materially on the bodily conception, which is just like, position, and some human beings are higher, some human beings are lower, and discriminate like this: high, low, good, bad, etc., and degrade. Because when we consider somebody as low, then we might not treat them nicely, so degrade ourselves. So we should understand that when we don't respect jivas, we are degrading ourselves, irrespective of what their position is. There could be a sweeper on the road, but still that person has to be respected. So just because he's a sweeper, not that we just, shout at them, or yeah, like I was saying some other day, right? So we have food, we want to give food to our maids, we give them, we eat the fresh food, we give them stale food, right? Not like this. This is all degrading business. We should not degrade ourselves. So we should see super soul, understand that, okay, it's just the body they've got for whatever reason, but everybody has to be respected. So this is that Brahma Bhuta, and then he approaches the transcendental destination. Samas sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. One who can see that all activities are performed by the body. All activities are performed by the body. The body is doing all the activities, which is created of material nature, and sees that the self does nothing. Self, Atma, is not doing anything. Atma just started this whole cycle by desiring to be independent of Krishna. That's all. Now, once the trigger started, now everything else is being carried out by material nature only. Till again we start to re-exercise our free will. Till then we are in auto mode. Auto. Auto in the sense, we because of our nature, we will come across certain types of people and association. Then we think that that is good for us because of our nature, and then we keep degrading. Or if we are fortunate enough, somehow we did some punya, then we come in touch with some saints, and then we can upgrade ourselves. But this is just going on based on material nature. And of course, then also there are the desire. The self only desires. Self, that free will, the use of free will, that is there. That is what the self is doing. But this whole big chakra was started when we first wanted to be independent of Krishna, wanted to enjoy independence of Krishna. And then time to time, then we keep using our free will to either upgrade ourselves or downgrade ourselves. But all the activities are being carried out by material nature. Self does nothing. When a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies, and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains to the Brahman conception. This is Brahman, Brahma Bhuta. Thus, with the vision of eternity, those with the vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, soul neither does anything nor is entangled. In that sense, he is not supposed to be entangled. But because we are thinking of ourselves as the body, we have become entangled. But otherwise, the soul is not technically entangled. The sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all pervading. Similarly, the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body, though situated in that body. So this is Brahman vision. He does nothing, or he's not entangled, because he doesn't live on that platform. He's on the spiritual platform, so he doesn't get entangled. So though he's in the body, he does not mix with the body, meaning he doesn't get involved. As the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does a living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. Hmm. Hmm. Those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between body and the knower of the body can also understand the process of liberation from bondage, attains to the supreme goal. So in this chapter, Krishna has explained, saying that by knowledge of this knower and knowable, the field of activity, which is body, then the knower, which is the soul and super soul, and they're also the knowable. So one understands, saying that, we have to see the body, soul, and super soul in all jivas, and then by not degrading ourselves with this knowledge, we come to the liberation platform, Brahman platform. That's what this whole chapter is about. So, which is why we have to, and that is why this knowledge is important. Like I said, this last 6 chapters gives us knowledge and the vision to live life. While bhakti is already told, so okay, you do bhakti yoga, become Krishna's devotee, develop all these qualities. But then how do you deal with this world? So these 6 chapters are telling us how to deal with this world. So we have to deal with this world, see everything, every jiva as Atma, Deha, Atma, Paramatma. And then deal with them accordingly, then we will come to Brahman. That is the whole reason why this knowledge is required. Otherwise, just having knowledge, saying that, okay, there's Atma, there's Paramatma, there is Deha, but not actually acting on that platform is useless. This is okay. Any questions? And is also described that those who have that vision of eternity, meaning who have come to that Brahman stage, how do they deal with this world? Yeah. Okay. There's nothing, then we can go to the next chapter. Okay. So now, having described the basics of this material, of this, jivas, actually, previous chapter was about just body, soul, super soul. Now Krishna is talking about the influence that the material, that Prakriti is having on these jivas by explaining these modes of material nature. Okay, so this we are going to take some time. Again, I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, knowing which all the sages have attained supreme perfection. See, just understand that by understanding these gunas, we can achieve supreme perfection, because we can understand how everything and everyone is influenced by these gunas. And now, along with seeing the body, the soul, super soul, we have to also see the influence on that body. Which mode is acting on that body? Because every jiva will be acting in different ways, and we should see the modes. And we should recognize, saying that, okay, it's just the influence of the modes. And again, treat with all jivas with respect. But if suppose somebody is acquired a mode by which he is a thief, then we do take appropriate action. Just that, of course, saints will also forgive even everybody, but normal people, we might not be able to come to that stage immediately. But we will at least deal with them according to the actions they are doing, based on the nature, but we will still respect them. Meaning, we are not, just because somebody is a thief, it's not that we are going behind the thief. But if the thief is doing if you caught the thief, know that he's doing something wrong, then take required action. It's not like, okay, like I was saying that day, so somebody, some drunkard comes to the temple, we will still give him prasadam. It's not that, oh, he's a drunkard, so we'll discriminate him. Not like that. But then we will also tell him, saying that, please don't enter the temple without taking a bath. or something like that, right? So we will treat them on the platform of the soul, but considering their influence of the mode of nature on them, we might tell them to do certain things, but we don't reject them like that. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. So yeah, so again, this is the all this gnana that is. Actually, I'm not sure what Krishna says when he says one is not born at the time of creation. Okay, if he attains the transcendental nature, then he doesn't become born at the time of creation. But then why disturbed at the time of dissolution? Okay, unclear. Total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings. So this is the source of material creation is this Brahman, which is called the total material substance. And Krishna impregnates this material substance. Sarvayonishu Kauntaya Murtaya Samavantyaha. It should be understood that all species of life are made possible by birth in this material nature. And that I am the seed giving father. Murtaya Sambhavantiyaha Tasam Brahma Mahadyoni. It's all in this Brahma Mahadyoni. The source of the reason for birth is this Brahman. Like he's saying, he's the source of birth. Material nature consists of three modes. So, so now there is description of this material modes. Goodness, passion, ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, he becomes conditioned. And this eternal living entity comes in contact with material nature as soon as he comes in this material atmosphere. Immediately he comes in contact with nature. No chance to escape that contact. And as soon as that contact happens, then it becomes conditioned. Then his behavior is influenced by these modes. And then based on which modes are taking predominance, then he will go Urdhvam Gachanti Sattvastha, up, down, middle, like that. He is now rotating. And is bound up because ropes, guna means ropes. So we are bound up. And then what should we do? Traigunya Vishayaveda Nistraigunya Bhavajana. We have to stop the influence of the modes on us. And this is getting rid of these anarthas. So these modes, the influence of the modes has created all this Arishad Varga or Shadripu, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, which have influence on us. And now what we should do? We should become unconditioned, or we should become free from the conditioning, or we should become liberated. And that Krishna says that is why we should become free from the modes. Okay, so I'll stop here because now this is going to go into the detailed discussion of the modes, which is very important. So we will take that up tomorrow. Yeah, again, so previous chapter was mainly focused on field of activities, knowledge, nor of the field, no object of knowledge, these things. So mainly it was about body, soul, super soul, and about the Brahman vision. How to see and how to live in relation with other jivas. And now this is about how everybody's behavior is influenced by the modes and how we can use this knowledge to extricate ourselves from falling to material platform. So we should see that every jiva has every person is influenced by these modes, and that everybody behaves in a good, bad, ugly manner, and just recognize the influence of the modes. Okay, so we'll stop here. Any questions? Anybody? We can discuss. This is Gnana. This is for philosophers. But yeah, for us practical knowledge, I've explained. It will come to Brahman means Brahma Bhuta, meaning rising to the transcendental platform, living on the platform of the soul. Ramakrishna Prabhu is asking that if you know this knowledge, it will help us come to Brahman. What exactly Brahman? Which is what we discussed. So Brahman is this platform beyond matter. That is Brahman. It is a transcendental platform. So which is what Krishna said in the second chapter, saying that rise above these modes and come to the transcendental platform. So right now we are in the material platform. So when we know this knowledge, we understand how we are caught up in this material platform. And then the process to move to the transcendental platform is bhakti, that Krishna explains. Yeah, Rohini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
In this sloka, we understand Brahman has different meanings, right? Brahman is a
Yeah.
and Brahman. In the third sloka, it says the total material substance is called Brahman.
Yeah. So Brahman is the energy that is coming out from the body of the Supreme Lord, which is called Brahma Jyoti.
Okay.
But it is also this Brahman only in which the spiritual sky is Brahma Jyoti only.
Right.
Right. And the material sky is also Brahma Jyoti.
Oh.
But because it is covered, some part of it is covered by Mahat Tattva clouds, it becomes dark because of that Mahat Tattva. But it's actually the Brahman substance only, which Brahman is there everywhere. It is all pervading within spiritual and material worlds. So this Brahman only is the cause for the spiritual world. The Brahman only is the cause for the material world also.
Right.
Everything is Brahman. We are also Brahman.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, this is what.
So I can understand the Brahma Jyoti, some part of Brahma Jyoti is covered by Mahatattva. So that's how the material existence is also covered.
Yeah, it is covered by Brahma Jyoti just so that the effulgence is blocked. But the underlying substance is, like, for example, if there is a cloud and the sunlight, the bright sunlight is not there, that doesn't mean that the sunlight is not there at all. The influence of the sunlight the full influence is not seen. Right. So the effulgence is not seen. So this part is called, darkness. The material world is in darkness. But the substance, underlying substance, which is required for creation, is Brahman only.
Right.
So that material substance is Brahman. So the whole material world is created from Brahman. Just understand this, okay? So simple way of understanding is everything in Brahman. Brahman is spirit. Okay. And from Brahman, from spirit only, matter comes.
Right.
That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, man.
So we understand that the transcendentalists, they are in the brighter side of the Brahman, is it?
Yeah.
So like
transcendentalists meaning those who have achieved, those who have become free from the bondage.
So Prabhu, do they have another planet there or a specified place? Or
okay, yeah. Actually, Bhagavatam answers this, that there is something called as Siddhaloka, which is also there in the spiritual world where these jivas go and reside. I've read it somewhere. But general understanding is that Brahma Jyoti is there everywhere in the spiritual sky, including the spiritual world. But the spiritual world one can enter only if he is a devotee. Meaning the spiritual planet, sorry, not the spiritual world. The spiritual planet one can enter only if he is a devotee. Till one becomes a devotee, he has to remain in the Brahma Jyoti. And somewhere I read saying that there is also some loka called as Siddhaloka, where all these Brahman realized souls reside. I've read somewhere.
That part is not covered by Mahatattva Prabhu. They are able to take in so much
Let
of
me
effulgence.
show this.
They're able to take in so much effulgence.
Yeah, because they've reached that stage, no? They're Brahma Bhuta. They're Brahman realized. This is outside the material realm. Which is why, see, that is also called Mukti only, this Sayujya, right? So they have gone there and they're now one. See, we are also light. We are actually the same light, right? Just that now we are in this darkness, so that light seems very bright to us. It's like that. So once they go there, because they have got out of this darkness that had covered them, so they are able to deal with the light because they are the light. They're part of the light. Part of the light doesn't, it's not affected by the light, right? Because it's part of the light. So they're there, and they're, and then Bhagavatam says that, without having any activity, then they again fall down because they have not respected your lotus feet. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Okay, then we'll close here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Cha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Ananta Koti Vishwavandana ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Pranam.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Obeisances to everybody, assembled obeisances. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu,
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Pranam. Okay, we'll disconnect. Hare Krishna.